Oh.
New advertisement.
And there it is, another touchdown from James Conner, one of his 3 on the week, Trevin. Conner is running back 11 on the year with 132.5 points in PPR, scoring 40 points in this game, almost a third of his production on the year. The third best performance in a week for a running back so far this season. Both of the other 2 in the top 3 occurred in week 2 when Derrick Henry had almost 48 points against the Seahawks, and Aaron Jones had that huge Monday night game with 4 touchdowns against the Lions. Conner finished with 173 scrimmage yards in this one, including 2 touchdowns on the ground and 1 through the air on 5 receptions. Do you see this coming from James Conner this week or this season in general, Trevin?
Yeah, I actually did see it coming this week, so I traded for him before this game in all my leagues, and I won all the leagues, so good job by me.
No wonder we have so many listeners.
No, I did not. Of course, Chase Edmonds went down. Looks like he might be down for a while, so if James Conner keeps up this as a lead guy, he could keep putting up some big points.
Yeah, if he keeps scoring touchdowns. The impressive thing to me in this one was no Kyler Murray, no DeAndre Hopkins. They still took the San Francisco 49ers out behind the woodshed, beat them pretty easily with Colt McCoy and James Conner leading the way. And not a lot of other threats on that offense other than Christian Kirk and Rondale Moore in this one. And Kirk had a decent game. Rondale Moore didn't do a ton. But, yeah, James Conner looked dominant. And this Cardinals team looks like they might be for real.
Yeah, for sure. We also talked about the shine kind of wearing off of Shanahan a couple weeks ago, and it's not looking any better because, like you said, with how light the Cardinals were for weapons they had this week, and they still laid it to the Niners.
Yeah. So, on the other hand, we got the Cardinals head coach who is
Cliff.
For real? Cliff Kingsbury, for real?
I was kind of down on him to start the year, and even when they started undefeated, I didn't think he was helping the cause a whole lot. I thought it was mostly Kyler I didn't think Cliff was helping Kyler a lot, but he looks pretty good. If he can win with Colt McCoy and just blow the doors off the 49ers, it's got to be something going on with the coach.
No kidding. Impressive win for the Cardinals this week. They keep it rolling. We'll stick with our James Conner theme here for our stat of the week, Trevin. Conner has 11 touchdowns on the year, which leads the league. Of course, those 11 touchdowns were with 66 fantasy points, or almost half of his total points for this year. We're at the midway point of the year. Do you think there's any way he gets to 22 touchdowns this season?
I'd have to say no. But if he does he's been so efficient scoring them now. If he does get some volume, maybe he can keep the pace going just with more touches.
Yeah. Alex Johnson wants to know what's going on with the coach in Vegas.
Not a great performance from the coach last game. We don't need to turn into a Raiders podcast, but it's the best rushing game they've had this season, and best game by far for Jacobs. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. I think they're averaging 6 yards as a team, and they went in the red zone 6 times, scored 1 touchdown, and attempted 4 field goals and had 1 turnover. So really blew a game they should have won there, but there's a lot of stuff going on with the Raiders, so couldn't expect too much this week, I don't think.
Absolutely. It was a weird week.
Coach, he's never been, sorry to he asked about the coach, but he's been an okay coach for a guy that's never had head coaching experience. He's kind of kept the ship going in the right direction.
Trevor interrupted me. That means you got to take a drink.
That's to the fans or to me?
Anytime you interrupt me to get one more statement in before we move on to the next segment, you got to take a drink.
I was finishing our loyal listeners' question.
Yeah, providing maximum value to the people always, aren't you?
Yes, that's the goal.
A weird week in general in the NFL, though, Trevin, and we will hop into the main event where we'll talk about that a little more. All right, for tonight's main event, Trevin, you put together a list of surprising players, would you call them, or surprising performances from this week?
Yeah, to me, it was a lot of guys that just aren't even rostered on most. And if they are rostered, you're not starting a lot of guys who finish the top 10 at some different positions this week. I thought with my own leagues, kind of across the board, scoring was down. That was just because the big name guys really didn't put up very many points and had a lot of guys that aren't in lineup scoring some points. But specifically Josh Johnson for the Jets. And he turns out any Jets quarterback that's not Zach Wilson is doing pretty well. Josh Johnson, who's been kind of a career bouncing around the league guy, started back in 2008. It's got to be a record for how many teams he's been a roster of, because that list is insane since then. But he put up 25 fantasy points for the Jets on Thursday night and finished as QB4.
Pretty impressive performance from him, Trevin. Unfortunately, it does sound like he's going to go back to the bench this week. I think they said Mike White's probably starting, so it'd be interesting to see him get another shot. You mentioned how long Josh Johnson's been around, how much he's bounced around. He played well in this game. He threw for career high in both yards and touchdowns, 317 yards and 3 touchdown passes in the final 18 minutes. His first touchdown throw since 2018. So congrats to Josh on getting some PT here and making the most of it.
It's that 13-year bump we always hear about. Got to watch out for that.
Did get 5th round draft capital back in 2008. So
was that Gruden? It was for the Buccaneers, I think, that he went to, didn't he? I don't know how long. Gruden was
yes,
there.
He was. He was drafted by the Buccaneers and played there through 2011. It looks like.
Yeah. So, but I think the news from the Jets was actually Mike White will be starting in the future. It sounds like even if Zach Wilson's healthy, they're going to stick with Mike White for now.
What do you make of that?
I wouldn't feel great about it if I was a Zach Wilson guy. It's not something you want to hear, even if you're a Jets fan.
You think they actually stick to that?
It'd be tough to say it. I mean, I think he's going to have a pretty short leash, but it sounds like even if Zach Wilson's healthy, they're going to stay with it.
Where did you read that? Because I have not heard that.
I got to do the research. I'm not the research guy.
Well, it sounds like you're just making stuff up over there.
I can do that. There's no laws against that.
Just talked about providing maximum value to the listeners, and now you're just telling them that Mike White's gonna take their boy's job. Zach Wilson relegated to the bench.
Listen, I'm going to say a lot of stuff, and it's up to the listeners to sort out what they want to trust.
What's real, what's fake, nobody knows.
No, I'm just a guy with a microphone. I'll find it and I'll tell you.
Okay, you find it and tell us. I don't think there's a lot of actionable advice as it pertains to Josh Johnson. It was a nice week, a fun story, but them going back to the bench at least for this week, if not for longer, as Trevin looks this up, we'll have
I'm on the case.
He'll find it by the end of the episode, I promise.
Yeah. But just for some guys that had some bummer weeks, too, we had Mahomes finish as quarterback at 22. Joe Burrow was 23. Our poor Danny Dimes was 25. I know we expect more from him. And I can't even find where Josh Allen was a quarterback 20. So kind of a flip-flop week for every position, but quarterbacks, too.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if Mahomes even gets it figured out this season at all. It's getting rough out there.
Boy, some of these games, you'd think this would be the one, and it's just not working so far.
And they're showing like clips during the game where he's, holding onto the ball and taking these shots downfield, and meanwhile Kelsey's open underneath, and he just waving his arms around, and he won't even find him with the ball. So it seems like he's just trying to go for the home run every play, and it's not working out at all. I mean, they're back to 5-4 after this win over the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know if that makes them start to feel a little less pressure and they can get back to normal, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. Did you find your stupid
Raiders
fake
will take
story
care of them this week? So this isn't fake. This is Connor Hughes, who covers the Jets for The Athletic. He says Saleh says the number one goal is to win and put players in the locker room in a position to do so. Based off of today's press conference, I would say that if Mike White plays well against the Bills, Mike White will continue to start. So you're right. It wasn't just the coach saying that, but this was a reporter. I didn't just make stuff up.
It's somewhere in between what you portrayed it as originally and not true at all.
Yep. I think
There's
we got
no way.
Now.
There's no way Zach Wilson isn't playing if he comes back healthy.
I don't know.
Out there, the speed writers out of his gourd.
No, I'm agreeing with him.
You're
I think it's kind of an excuse to say he's still hurt. Let's not it's just not working out right now. You can just say he's still hurt and keep him on the sideline for a little longer.
But what's the benefit of that?
Not to show how bad he is, not to expose him.
He's not going to learn to get better by just standing on the sideline.
Maybe needs to do something else. He's not learning by going out there and throwing 5 interceptions every game.
He's going to learn from NFL legend Mike White how to properly play the NFL.
Maybe. Mike White obviously knows more.
I'm not saying he can't learn anything from Mike White, but it's not like an Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes situation or a Favre Rodgers situation or something like that. I don't know. I don't believe it, but we'll see, I guess. All right. Who's next on your list here? You got another Jet, it looks like.
Yeah, so Elijah Moore was switched over to wide receivers now, but Elijah Moore finished as wide receiver 1. Other kind of odd names we had in the top 10 was Davonte Smith, wide receiver 2. You want to go ahead with this name?
What, Olamide Zaccheaus?
Yep, wide receiver 4. Darnell Mooney was wide receiver
not even
5.
a hard one.
And Malik Turner was wide receiver 8. So had some different ones in the top 10, but Elijah Moore, he finally had his breakout game and had a huge week last week.
Yeah, he did. It was good to see. I guess he just needs to play with the backup quarterbacks, but he's been doing well. 6 for 67 last week, 7 for 84 with a couple of touchdowns this week. He's starting to show out, and I think this is the point in the season where we start to see these rookies kind of get the hang of it if they're not Jamar Chase caliber and start to get on the field a little more, and if they're show us whether they have what it takes to succeed at the NFL level. And so for him and for Davonte Smith, who you also mentioned, it's good to see them start to have a little bit of a breakout game, even with subpar quarterback play. And I think that bodes well as we kind of look at, going forward, who's going to be the hits and who are going to be the misses from this 2021 draft class, Trevin.
Yeah, and with Corey Davis out, and it sounds like he's probably still going to be out, Elijah Moore stepped right in, and he's shown what he can do.
Yeah, I think Davis may be expected back this week, so it'll be interesting to see if that makes a difference for both Mike White, NFL legend, and for Elijah Moore in this offense. But let me verify that. So,
but Davonte Smith, he turns out he's still a good receiver. After what we've seen in Alabama the last couple of years, it wasn't just a fluke going on there. And there's been some clips around on Twitter that he just really knows what he's doing, knows really how to control his body and position to win the catch points.
Yeah, I love the clip that came out this week of one of the other receivers using one of those massage guns on his I think he had like a strain or something on his hamstring, and Davonte Smith was telling him not to do that because you're just going to irritate it and make it hurt worse, and instead you just need to stretch it out or whatever. And the guy's like, "Oh, you really know your stuff, huh?" And he's like, "Well, I went to, or I majored in exercise science. I know a little bit," or something like that.
No, I didn't see that.
It's a pretty good clip. You should go check it out. But yeah, Corey Davis indicated Wednesday that his hip is feeling better and that he went, quote, full throttle in his return to practice. So that sounds promising. Hopefully they get him back, and Mike White can put up another 400-yard passing game this week, Trevin.
When's the last time you went full throttle on anything?
He did, or I did?
Yeah, when's the last time you went full throttle on anything?
Probably Beer Olympics when I dominated.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
When we played beer pong together, and I made 9 out of 10 cups, and you made 1.
You were full throttle then. Good thing you're wearing those stretchy pants.
On these other guys, I think Darnell Mooney has been having a kind of a breakout year here too, Trevin. Yeah. He is wide receiver 45 on a per game basis, only 11.3 points, but I mean, he's only had 2 touchdowns on the year, and you look at his target share, he's got the number 16 target share among receivers, over 25%. He's getting a lot of work in this offense. They just haven't passed the ball a ton. They're only throwing at 26 pass plays per game, which is 32nd in the league. But out of those 26 pass plays, he's getting 6, 7, 8, 9 targets a game. So he's getting the opportunity, and obviously this offense hasn't been performing at a very high level, but he seems to be the number 1 receiver in this offense, overtaking Allen Robinson, much to my surprise, and I think the surprise of a lot of fantasy players this year, Trevin.
Yeah, and just to go along with that, it sounds like Allen Robinson has a hamstring issue. It sounds a little serious. He suffered it last game. I wouldn't be surprised if he misses a couple weeks. And so Mooney is a guy I'd target, and then I also go and target Cole Kmet if he's on a um, just a free to pick up on waivers in a redraft or cheap to get on a dynasty one for the rest of the year, because these might be the two top targets if Allen Robinson hasn't been doing great anyway, and if he's got an injury going forward. The Bears look like they might have a decent offense the way they showed the second half of last game, so might be a couple guys to jump on going forward. Take a flyer on them.
Yeah, I'm still not a believer in their offense as long as Nagy's there, but at least it's looking better than it was, which is encouraging, I will say. They did get David Montgomery back as well, so that helps also. But yeah, looking at this list, Trevin, I think Moore, Smith, and Darnell Mooney are the clear ones that you can actually probably count or hope for consistent production from going forward at a good level where you'll actually be able to feel comfortable putting them in your lineup. You mentioned Olamide Zaccheaus and Leaf Turner. I think those two guys just kind of had fluke games where they got a couple of touchdowns and ended up in the top 10. Prescott threw 2 touchdown passes to Malik Turner in the final 5 minutes of that embarrassing loss they had to the Broncos. So they were just garbage time, like, him getting that opportunity. And then same thing kind of with Olamide Zaccheaus. He had a couple of touchdowns, but again, like he only had 3 catches in the game for 58 yards. 2 of them just happened to be touchdowns. So I'm not a believer in either of those guys, not in any meaningful way going forward. What do you think?
No, I'm Zaccheaus. I would give a little more credence to. Hey, he with Ridley maybe being out for who knows how long. Maybe Zaccheaus is that third. Well, I mean, you can't even with Patterson there. Maybe a third or fourth receiving option. Maybe going forward, he's maybe right there with Russell Gage. So you got a chance there. Malik Turner, that was his first catches of the year. He had 5 catches last game, and 2 of them happened to be touchdowns. And he's probably going to be the 5th or 6th option still at the Cowboys. So I wouldn't expect more of those games from him.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he repeated that at any point this year. But yeah, like you look at the Atlanta target distribution in this game without Calvin Ridley, they had Cordell Patterson with 6, Russell Gage with 8, Kyle Pitts with 7, and then Zaccheaus and Hayden Hurst each had 3. So pretty clear cut top 3 there as far as the passing game goes in that offense, Trevin.
Yep.
All right, and then you had one other guy you put on your list here.
Yeah, so tight end 1 was Freiermuth this week, who really had a big game for the Steelers, and it was a guy they're looking for, especially in the red zone. So he hasn't had a huge year. They have been targeting him a little bit, but going forward, I would definitely see what he would cost if he's a guy that they keep looking to in the red zone. That's kind of what you want in your tight end after those first 2 or 3 guys. You just need to get some touchdown luck.
Yeah, he's got 4 touchdowns on the year, including 2 in this game, which is great to see. He's been a top 10 tight end each of the past 3 weeks. Number 1 this week, number 3 last week, and number 10 the week before. So he's starting to turn on. He's getting 6, 7, and 7 targets in those games. So that's good to see. Not a lot of yardage, which not a huge surprise given that he's a tight end. 58 yards, 44 yards, and 43 yards in this game. So I mean, I think for this season, he's just like a lot of those other guys in the 5 to 10 range. He's just a touchdown dependent tight end where if they get that touchdown, it's great. And if they get 2 like this, you're really set. But if not, it's just kind of eh. A lot of people, though, in Dynasty, Trevin, are getting pretty high on him. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, he's definitely been productive, but he just didn't really have the athletic profile you'd want for somebody to get big yardage games like we're talking about. But he knows what he's doing. And with Juju out and Chase Claypool is kind of banged up, they're kind of running out of guys to throw to there, and he might be a good option for the rest of the year. And Dynasty, it's definitely, I don't know, I'd have him in the top 15, but that's not saying a lot for a tight end in Dynasty.
Yeah, I think he's probably in that 10 to 12 range for me. I know some people are pushing him up there in that 5, 6, 7 range. That's too high for me. I think I still prefer guys like Phantom Goddard over and Gesicki, who's having a really good year over him. So I have a hard time getting him into the top 10, but I do like him. I think he's a complete tight end. Pitts was obviously the big receiving tight end this season. I think Freiermuth is never going to be that, but he can be a serviceable option. So I'm probably not buying at current prices, but if you got him in your second or early third round of your rookie draft, I think you guys feel pretty good about that at this point.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page.
It'd be interesting to see who they get to replace Big Ben next year, because that'll obviously have an impact on the value of all those options in that offense, and including Freiermuth.
Yeah. It's just going to be I don't know. I don't know how to value any of these Steelers guys going forward, because nobody else really does the offense they're doing with every pass is 5 yards or short. He usually takes one strike downfield, but these guys just really rack up the catches because everything's so short with Najee Harris and Deontay Johnson and Freiermuth in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, the closest thing, and I haven't looked into the stats on this to confirm it, but it feels like maybe the Patriots and the Dolphins would be the closest as far as sticking to those short passes and not pushing a lot downfield. But those are both teams with young quarterbacks who maybe just have less trust from the coaching staff than Ben has, and Ben just has a noodle arm at this point.
Yep.
All right. Anything else on this weird week, Trevor?
That's all I got for this weird week. I didn't like it. My teams are been pretty strong. I got some big name guys, so a week like this where it's all these random names scoring, it doesn't help my team.
No, yeah, because they're all so good, huh?
Yeah, I only got the big horses.
You want to tell the people your record in all your leagues?
No, undefeated until this week.
Until this week. You can only hear him here, folks. Should we do our pick to click?
Let's do it.
All right. So, as always, here for our pick to click competition, we are picking someone from the main slate who will score 15 plus points and cost 5,000 or less on DraftKings. Last week, Brent went with Alberto, who I thought was a really good pick and was probably going to hit because Brent has the golden horseshoe, but he did not. He only got 6.5 points. Trevin, you went with a tight end also, Hunter Henry, who did a little better but didn't get double digits. He had 9.9. And I had Jerry Jeudy, who just slid in there at $5,000, who had 12.9 points. So I continue to come tantalizingly close to scoring on these things, but come up just short. So no points for any of us last week. Brent still has a 6-1 lead over you and me this season. This week, Brent is going with another Bronco in Javonte Williams, who I think is probably a good pick. Javante's starting to get a little more work in these last couple games, Trevin.
Yeah, it just feels like at some point he's going to be taking over from Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon does also get banged up once in a while, miss a couple games here and there. So you think as soon as he can get to that, start taking over the backfield, get 60, 70% of the carries, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I agree. And they play the Eagles this week at home. The Eagles 25th against running backs for fantasy purposes so far this season. So great opportunity for Javonte. If he can steal a touchdown or two from Melvin Gordon, Brent will be in business. Trevin, you are going with another running back that I considered this week.
Yeah, this almost kind of feels like cheating because it might just be his – he might be the workhorse again. But I went with Dearness Johnson. For Cleveland. Hunt's out with an injury. Chubb tested positive for COVID. He does have the chance to come back, so this pick really hangs on if Chubb's playing or not. If he's not, of course, last time where Dearness Johnson had the backfield to himself, he had that crazy game, 25 points. So we'll see. If Chubb doesn't play, I like my pick. If Chubb plays, then this pick's worth nothing.
I had that exact same thought process when I was looking at him. They play at New England this week. New England 24th against running backs in fantasy so far this season. So, yeah, it all comes down to whether Chubb plays or not. And for my own personal reasons, since I have him in a couple leagues, I am hoping he does. But if he doesn't, I think you have a pretty safe bet there. That
it also gives me a built-in excuse if I don't hit, so that's good too.
If you have another goose egg.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I am going with Noah Fant this week, taking my cue from Brent's pick of Alberto last week and these Broncos tight ends. Fant is 4,300, so it'd be good for a point in our contest here. They play Philly, who is last in the league against tight ends this week, which helps. And you look at Fant's past couple games, and week 7 he had 8.9 points, so just a touchdown and a yard short. Then week 6 against your Raiders, Trevin, he had almost 25, so he's hit the 15-point threshold a couple times this season, and obviously a sexy matchup here with the Eagles, who are terrible against the tight end so far. Sexy.
Why are we picking so many Broncos players in this?
Because they have a good matchup this week, I guess.
Yeah, but every week we're picking Judy.
They're affordable, Trevin. We're shopping at the dollar store here.
But they're not hitting. It's close. 2 weeks in a row for you with Broncos player Jerry Judy last week and Noah Fant this week, and Brent's over Javonte Williams.
I was 2.1 points short last week, so tough to criticize that one too much. And you don't like Javonte's chances of getting 15 here?
I just don't like how many Broncos players are getting picked.
Oh, well, you can start picking Raiders players if you want.
Uh-huh.
All right, Trevin. Question of the week. What's your go-to game day snack or meal?
Ooh, it's definitely hamburger cheese dip. Get that going in the morning. Get some Velveeta cheese and my patented hamburger that I put some peppers in there with, and get it seasoned up. Put that in the crock pot in the morning. Let it melt all day. That's it. Eat it all day long.
Do you do Rotel or do you do something else?
No, I do. I've tried Rotel before, but I don't like it as much. I just do Pace salsa. Pacate.
Rotel's the way to go.
No, wrong.
That was going to be one of my things I threw out there. I also like buffalo wings, and I like chili also this time of year.
You make buffalo
usually
wings?
Pick them up from somewhere.
I
Easy
thought we were
way
talking
out.
about making.
You can do either way. Yeah, I like. We're in November now. It's starting to get a little cold out. Good crock pot full of chili really hits the spot on a Sunday too.
Are you just opening up for me to talk about my chili tonight?
I am a good host, so I try to tee you up. But
oh yeah, thanks. Over the top chili I made today. Fantastic. You make a 2-pound hamburger ball, put it on your smoker on top of your pot of chili. Whoo! Best chili I've ever had, Levi.
So how'd you come up with this idea?
No, it wasn't my idea. A coworker told me about it a while back. So I've been itching to make it and finally had the day I could do it.
So you just have a giant meatball that you put on the grate above your chili bowl.
Yeah, if you have a grill where you have a grate you can use. Otherwise, I bought a cheap drying rack that you'd use for like cookies. And I just put that above my pot of chili on a Dutch oven. So you basically make your chili however you want to make it, just the liquid part, no meat, and then you season up your hamburger ball, 2-pound hamburger meatball, and just put that on the shelf you make above it so it all drips into your chili, and then when your meat's cooked through, you crumble it up and put the meat in the chili.
So are you doing this smoking? Is this a smoke on the smoker?
Yeah, it was just 225 degrees for 3.5 hours ish.
Do you do indirect or do you do direct heat on this puppy?
Indirect.
Sweet.
I have Traeger for it, so fantastic. If anybody's got an extra, just a day where you want to cook something all day, I'd recommend it.
Everybody take another drink because Trevin, took away the magic by explaining how I teed him up for this discussion. So.
Well, I want to hear, you didn't really say much for what you make. What's your go-to thing to make?
I said I make chili. I got a pretty simple recipe that I use, and a couple of cans, throw it in there, let it simmer all day. For wings, it's usually either if I get wings, it's usually we have a wing stop right by our house. They have pretty good wings, so go for that. They have a Cajun season fry thing that's pretty awesome too. So pick up a little of that to go along with it. Pretty solid.
They just got one into Lincoln. I haven't tried it yet.
It's worth a try.
Yeah, might have to. So chili, that's what you make if you're having some guests over to watch big game. You're making chili.
Well, you're making cheese dip?
Yeah, everybody likes cheese dip.
I said I like that one too. You stole one of the things I was going to say. You want me to
Alright.
just repeat what you say?
What about a little smoky? You a little smoky guy?
Not really. Like, I'll eat them, but I don't get excited about it.
I like those.
You?
I'm a little smoky guy.
What about like a taco dip or like a 7-layer, one of those?
No, I don't like those. Too much going on.
Too much.
Yeah. Can't even get everything with one chip. Yeah. You're either getting just sour cream or just beans. There's no mixture going on.
What about guacamole?
Not a big guac guy. Really not a big guac guy outside of a restaurant. Turns brown like immediately. When they make it in front of you in a restaurant, then I can do
it. You can't make it for yourself, but you can eat it at a restaurant where they make it for you.
I can do it for myself, but I just don't want it to be sitting out all day. So if I'm like hanging out all day at somebody's house, no thanks on the guacamole. It turns brown like a half hour after it's made.
All right.
Well, you're a brown guacamole fan? That's what you're going to tell me.
No, I just don't understand why it's different at a restaurant versus if you just make it yourself. But
because they make it right there.
You make it right there at home. Just don't let it sit out all day. Eat it faster or make less.
I never thought about that. Maybe that's.
Shelly has a really good dip she makes that's like a cream cheese base with corn and rotel and ranch seasoning in it. That's a go-to also. Love that one.
Not a corn in my dip guy either.
Jeez, you got a lot of rules.
Oh, well, this is the rules. This is what you like. I'm telling you what I like.
What tortilla chip do you go with?
Tostitos.
Just bite size, regular size?
Not the deep dish ones. I hate those. They taste
scoops?
different. Yeah, scoops. I don't like those. Too much dip to chip ratio is all off if you scoop up a bunch of dip, and it just tastes. The chips taste different. I know that for a fact. What's your chip? I like the bite size though. There's a lot of chip integrity to them. They really hold. You can hold some dip with them. They don't.
I like the bite size. The regular are okay, but I like the bite size probably. And then with Shelly, always likes to get those Mission tortilla strips. They're like longer rectangles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they have a giant bag of them. You can get at Costco for like $4. So that's usually the standby.
Nice.
All right. Any other? You like burgers, brats, hot dogs?
Nah, I love brats, but I don't know. I'm not really a grilling guy for the game, I guess.
I think if you're tailgating, that's the way to go. Something like that.
I love beer brat if I'm tailgating. Because you can just grill them, put them all in the beer bath with onions and stuff, and they just sit there all day.
Another awesome tailgating food, breakfast burritos. If you're out there for noon kickoff, get some of those puppies going.
Doesn't get any better. Mini runzos, that's a good tailgating thing.
You're probably going to have to explain runzos to some of our listeners.
I don't even know what's in a runza.
It's like ground beef
cabbage.
And cabbage.
Yeah, and cheese. That's about it, isn't it?
Yeah, spices. A bunch of spices.
Yeah.
But you gotta explain like what it is beyond that. They don't know.
Well, you're the guy that worked at Runza. You explain it, expert.
You have the soft breading around the outside, so it's similar to a hot pocket except with way better bread. And then on the inside, it's ground beef and cabbage that's cooked up there with a bunch of spices, and you could put cheese in there or just have it regular.
Yeah, and they're paying for this episode actually, so thanks, Runza. Advertisement for Runza.
You still haven't cut me in on the advertising money, so thanks for that.
But yeah, they do. You can buy a boatload of mini ones. That's what we did for my diaper keg, and I think they're like $1 each. So I think we had like 70 of them, and they're easy for a crowd because you can just grab one. You don't have to mess with a plate or putting anything together. Yeah, they're about half the size as normal.
Do you like pinwheels? Those little roll-up things.
I don't mind those. I do like to snack on a couple of those with the pickle and the dried beef.
Yeah, or just, I mean, some of them are just more of a cream cheese and other stuff in there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Yeah. You like them?
Yeah, they're good. I like those. What else we got? We leaving anything out?
Orange beers.
I feel like a lot of people will smoke like pork or ribs or stuff like that. If
I
you're
don't
having
like to have
people over.
Yeah. If you're having people over, that's definitely the way to go. I thought we were talking about tailgating now.
Yeah.
I
Either
don't
way,
like to have
throw
be
it
too
all out there.
complicated tailgating. But yeah, if you're having people over, it'd be smoking a pork butt be the way to go. That is what I usually take that over for a Super Bowl party. Bring them a pork butt, world famous.
Do you like pizza for your game day? If you're having people
It's
over?
okay. It's kind of a give up deal though. Like, well, I guess I got pizza. You don't get super excited if they order pizza, you know. If somebody put some time into a pork butt, you're like, oh hell yeah, it's fancy day.
Oh man.
What do
What
you
else?
guys do? Just with your family watching the game? You got any game day food you like to do that you haven't said?
Not that I haven't said yet.
Hmm.
I was trying to think what you take to a Super Bowl party too.
Yeah, that was a big miss. I always take a pork butt on that.
I think Ruffles and like that ranch and sour cream dip. That's always good. You ever had that dip?
Oh yeah. What you got going on over there? Fancy lighting or something?
Yeah,
Nice.
professional over here.
Huh.
All right,
Looks
I
good.
think we've beat this topic to death. You ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, do a quick beer check. What you got?
So tonight I've got a Shiner Oktoberfest. And I also have a new sponsor.
Other than Runza.
Pampers Swaddlers. You can also wrap it around your mug, keep your drink cool or hot. And I've recently learned how many diapers we're going to need when this kid comes. So thanks, Pampers, for sponsoring the show and sending me diapers.
How many are you going to need?
More than we have.
I don't know how many that is.
This is a good Shiner Oktoberfest.
Did you figure
really
out
like
that
it.
you change them like 12 times a day at the
I
beginning?
did. I haven't learned like myself yet personally, but I've been told that, yes.
Lots to look forward to, huh?
Yep.
I got a New Glarus, Totally Naked again. I've reviewed this one on here before. It's still really good. I'll go 7-4.
Nice.
All right. This thanks for being part of the Fantasy Players Club, everybody. We'll have a new episode for you next week that'll live stream on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Until then, on behalf of Trevin the Diaper King Cremosta, this is Levi Valentine wishing you good luck in week 10.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add about diapers before we get into our after show topic here?
No, not really. I just said they contacted me and asked if they could sponsor the show, and I said that'd be great. Send me some diapers. So,
have you calculated how much all those diapers are going to cost you? Like everyone's like 50 cents or whatever.
No, I don't know. I mean, we've got a lot. People were very generous and gave us a lot of diapers. I don't know how many we have. We got a whole closet full of them.
So many you're using them to wrap around your beer, I guess. That's koozie.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
All right. After show question. What do you think about horoscopes? Do you read yours?
No, they're stupid. They're very dumb. I don't. Like if that's something you're into, whatever. It doesn't bother me anything. I've got some dumb beliefs as far as wearing the same shirt and shorts and stuff for game day and stuff. So it's a dumb superstition.
You're a big jinx guy.
Well, I also like just calling jinxes out for no reason. So I am a jinx guy, but I'm also a just be an idiot guy, I guess. So
yeah, there you go. You're just an idiot. You can just say that.
Not on purpose. Sometimes I'm serious with the jinx when I say you're jinxing something, but other times I just like saying it and accusing people of being a jinx. So it's up to you to decide.
Real dumb. It's kind of like whether Zach Wilson's going to play or not when he comes back. It's up to you to decide.
Yeah, exactly. But horoscopes, no, there's nothing to them. They're just made up stuff. It doesn't mean nothing. You're born
Do you know what your
February.
sign is?
I think it's Pisces, but
Yeah.
it also got I think it got close to changing when they added that one 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
So
So
I think
you're
I'm like
born
right on the
between
edge of
February.
Pisces.
Pisces is February 19th to March 20th. That'd be you, right?
Yep. See, it is close now.
Do you want to hear your horoscope for today?
Oh yeah, you watch out. There's a big opportunity coming, and keep
Nope.
your eyes open, or you're gonna miss an opportunity. And keep your friends close because you're gonna need them. I'm sure it's something like that. You're gonna
It's
get some big news in your workplace, but also personal life. I could
nope.
write a stupid
Wrong
horoscope.
again.
What is it?
If anyone needs a vacation, it's you. You've been working hard nonstop, both physically and emotionally. Now, while you have the chance, it's time to get away. If you have a travel partner to play hooky with, so much the better. If you don't, that shouldn't stop you from going. You can bet that you'll find one there waiting for you when you arrive.
They're so
Time,
stupid in general.
time for another baby moon.
I wish they just make it more fun instead of trying to like be general and getting people in on it. Just like be super specific, and then it'd be something I'd read. You're gonna see a big blue truck, and watch out because it might hit you. Stuff like that. Your friend Chad's about to turn on you. Be careful. Kill him before he kills you.
Is this
That's
Squid
what I
Game?
want. Yeah, that's what I
Kill
want
him
from my
before he kills
horoscope.
you.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's telling you need another baby moon. That's what that's saying.
Yeah, I'll take it. What's yours?
Yeah. I'm Aries, which is March
You're gonna
21st to April 19th.
die by a rock slide.
Watch out for rocks.
Yeah. You wouldn't
A lot of
expect it in Kansas City. That's why you need to be careful.
Someone close to you might try to manipulate you, like what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they'll
Fucking
get away
Chad.
with it, or that you
Oh,
let them get close. Once they start their pitch, your best bet might be to excuse yourself just after you announce that you're wise to their game. That is, of course, provided you don't lose it when you hear the whine in their voice. Try to remain calm. Saying no before they finish is enough to let you know you've won, isn't it?
wine like liquor or wine like complain?
Complain.
Oh man, I just thought they were being drunk.
Yep. So I think that's what's going on here. So I'm wise to your game, and I'm gonna go.
Oh, you ain't wise in my game. You're easily manipulated.
You can't even say manipulated.
I'll manipulate the hell out of you if I wanted to.
I'll manipulate the hell out of you.
Yeah, you could read that horoscope every day. I'd still trick you on something.
Okay, so here's the real question.
What do you think? Real question?
What do you think about people who believe in horoscopes? Give me your unfiltered opinion of those.
I kind of answered it before. That I think they are lower intelligence, but that's not. I'm trying not to be like mean because I also believe in stupid things. Like I was saying with my own sports superstitions. So, like I know that wearing this shirt isn't actually going to help the Raiders, but I still wear it every weekend. So who's the real idiot?
It's you.
I mean, it's not any dumber than a horoscope, so I'm not really making fun of people that do it.
I don't believe in any of that crap. I'm not superstitious.
Just a little stitious.
It's all baloney. Yep, exactly.
You wouldn't, if you happen to be wearing a shirt for Husker basketball is going on a run.
Nope.
You wouldn't put anything into that.
Nope. Not even if I was playing in the games, I wouldn't even believe in that. Like if I could actually impact the outcome, which I wouldn't. You could not impact the Raiders' outcome at all, sitting on your couch watching it in Nebraska. But even if I was on the team and that happened, I still wouldn't think twice about it.
Like if you are drinking a beer and it's Coors Light and the Huskers score 3 touchdowns in a row, you're not going to think maybe you drink a Coors Light again next week?
No.
Huh.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, I know it's not affecting it, but it does make me feel a little bit better that maybe I do have some say in what's going on here. I'm helping the team.
It's so dumb. Do you believe in things like mediums or palm readers?
No.
Any of that stuff?
No. I don't actually believe I'm affecting the outcome of the game. It just makes me feel a little bit better. Like maybe I am.
So it's your fault that all your teams suck forever.
Yeah. That is a conclusion. That's a conclusion you could draw. Wearing the same shirt every week is for sure not helping the Huskers this year. I can tell you that.
It could actually be the reason they keep losing.
Yeah.
It's all your fault. We're all going to show it up at your house and confiscate that shirt and burn it. If you won't do it, we'll do it for you.
Put Scott Frost in it first and then burn it.
Oh my god. He's joking. And if you're gonna see somebody, it's just him. It ain't me.
No, it's the show. What's I can't believe you don't do anything that you think could change the game or that you're up in the game when you're watching it.
Why? That has no impact. You even admit it. Why would I think that? Why would I care?
It doesn't make you feel a little better.
No.
Like a little more comfortable. Huh.
What makes me feel better is knowing that there's nothing I can do about it.
Why do you get upset then?
Because I like the team and I'm just frustrated when they don't win. But it's not like I'm
because you're not doing the right thing. You're not sitting on the couch in the right spot.
Yep, that's why they didn't make that play and lost.
I do like to have my dog on my lap when I'm watching one of my teams. That seems to help.
You say it seems to help. All your teams have been terrible for a long time.
Think about if I wasn't doing my things, then they'd be even worse.
Or maybe they'd be better.
No, take that thought out of your mind.
Oh man. So we've talked on here before about aliens. Do you believe in ghosts?
No. I don't believe in that at all. Ghosts, nothing. Ghosts are nothing.
What about Santa Claus?
Yeah, I do. Who puts presents under my tree?
Probably your team's paying you back for sitting in the right spot on the couch.
Do you think Scott Frost is coming down my chimney?
Probably. To burn you in that shirt.
Oh, what an idiot.
All right. I think we've exhausted the show.
You don't think anybody's caring about this anymore?
I think once you said your Scott Frost line, that was when we should have ended it.
I'll edit that out.
All right. See you, everybody.
See ya.